um, one conversation that I had with my mother, which was it was 10 days before she'd actually passed away, but I thought it was going to be the last day, because what happened that evening, the following day, she stopped eating or drinking any food at all. But it was in the middle of the night. And you're right, I couldn't put it all in the book. It would just, it was, because it was a conversation, and it was going with the flow of conversation. I was lying in next to her hospice bed. She had a hospice bed, and I was lying in the bed next to her. It was just she and I in the room. And we just carried on in conversation, and I let her go where her mind went. And she went shopping, and she was shopping, and she wanted a central place where we could meet. And I asked her what she was out shopping for, and she said, I'm going to buy 2 of everything. And we would go back and forth, and I just asked her questions, and she said she wanted me to take care of Dad. The message was, and as we carried on in the conversation, all of a sudden, she would keep in mind, she was flat on her hospice bed. She wasn't able to move at all, but she sat completely upright. I mean, fully up out of bed at a vertical degree angle like this. She looked straight up and she said, Mishu, is that you? And at that exact moment, she fell back on the bed, and I thought she was dead. But at that exact same moment was when the TV went on by itself. And I just stood there for a second. I didn't know what to do. And I looked back at the TV. I checked over for the control to make sure that I wasn't sitting on it or wasn't anywhere close. It was on the bedside table. So I turned around to the TV and I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, the TV is on. Should I turn it off? And there was no response. And so it seemed like eternity, but I think it was only, a few moments that I turned the TV off. I settled myself. And then I realized she was alive, and we had that conversation. The next day, I called everybody, all the family members and so forth, because, and I told them about it, because to me, it was just amazing. And the next day, she was fully alive. She was able to have conversations with everybody. But then somehow she decided that she was no longer going to eat or drink, and that it was her time to die. I think she saw something, even though she couldn't explain what it was. She was able to see that she was going to be received somewhere. That's my interpretation anyway. But she definitely saw something, and it was real. It was not drugs. It was not, what many times I think what people see, they say, oh, it was something that caused it. She's in dementia in late stage. This was real. And the next day, I talked about that with the hospice people as well. And I realized that it happens regularly. And this was what was so surprising to me, is that, wow, we can actually experience this. And it's so enlightening. And it just opened me up to wanting a whole different level of awareness of how these things could happen. Yeah, but it was a beautiful experience. But that was one that really stood out as being very special.